Welcome back to the deep dive. It is great to have you with us. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, something that I think really gets to the heart of what it means to be, well, a learner in the digital age. We usually take a piece of content, a book, an article, a research paper, and we really analyze the text itself. We, extract the juice from the fruit, so to speak.
That is the standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
We read the book so you get the absolute best parts without all the filler.
But today, we aren't eating the fruit. We are. We're looking at the tree. Or maybe more accurately, we're looking at the sign hanging on the tree. We're analyzing a specific source that is essentially just a listing. It's a Google Books entry for a title that promises, it really truly promises, the world, or, well, the universe.
It does. It's a very, very ambitious promise contained in just a handful of words. And I think this is a bit of a meta experiment for us, isn't it?
It really is. The source we're looking at is the Google Books page for a book titled Top 10 Ideas of Physics, Foundations for Understanding the Universe by an author named Anthony Zee. Now, here's the catch, and this is really where our deep dive begins. We aren't reading the book itself today. We're reading the promise of the book and the context of how this information is presented to us in this digital interface.
Right. And I think this is a crucial exercise for anyone who cares about information literacy.
Yeah.
Because before you ever crack the spine of a book or download a PDF, you're making judgments. You're analyzing the metadata.
Oh, constantly.
You see the title, the author, the publisher, the availability. All of these things are signals. They tell you whether this journey is actually worth taking.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack that signal. We want to analyze what this specific title, Top 10 Ideas Physics, combined with the credibility of the author and the publisher, tells us about how we structure knowledge. And we're going to look at the interface itself, the buttons, the links, the no ebook available notice, to really understand the ecosystem of learning we are all living in.
It's about the anticipation of knowledge. When you stand at the threshold of a subject as vast as the universe and you see a sign that says, here are the top 10 ideas, that does something to your brain. It frames the entire expectation.
It sets the stage, right? And I have to say, I am a sucker for a list. You give me top 10 anything and I'm interested. But top 10 ideas of physics, that is bold. That's condensing, 400 years of scientific revolution into a decimal list?
It's incredibly bold.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where we need to start, because that title is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's promising accessibility, but it's also promising a kind of completeness.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the source and you see who's publishing it, Princeton University Press, and who wrote it, Anthony Zee, you realize, okay, this isn't just clickbait. This is a very serious attempt to map the cosmos.
So let's dive right into that. Let's unpack this title. Top 10 Ideas of Physics, Foundations for Understanding the Universe.
Let's do it.
First off, the number 10. Why 10? Is the universe actually structured in a decimal system, or is this just, because we have 10 fingers?
It's almost certainly the latter, right? It's a human imposition on the beautiful chaos of reality.
Right.
But think about the utility of that. If I told you, here are the 347 principles of physics, you'd tune out. You would be completely overwhelmed.
Absolutely. I would feel like I was back in a lecture hall failing a midterm I didn't study for.
Exactly. But 10. 10 is manageable. 10 is a handle. You can grasp 10 things in your mind. So the source here, just by using that number in the title, is telling the learner, don't panic. It's saying, we have done the hard work of curation. We have filtered out all the noise, and we are handing you the signal.
It implies a hierarchy, doesn't it? It implies that not all of physics is created equal, that some ideas are just better or more fundamental, more important.
That is the implication. It suggests that there are foundational ideas, just like the subtitle says, and then there's everything else. Everything else might be interesting, it might be derived from these 10, but these 10 are the pillars. If you remove one, the entire roof collapses.
I love that image, the pillars of reality. But I want to stick on a specific word in the title that I think is really, really interesting. The title isn't Top 10 Laws of Physics, it's Top 10 Ideas.
That is a fascinating distinction. And looking at the source text, that word ideas really does jump out at you.
Because usually when we talk about physics, we talk about laws. Newton's laws, the laws of thermodynamics, equations, cold, hard math. Laws feels rigid. Laws feels like rules you have to follow.
Laws implies obedience. It implies a static universe that functions like some kind of clockwork mechanism, and your job is just to memorize the gear ratios. But ideas is a very, very different word.
What does idea say to you in this context?
Idea implies a human element. An idea is something that was thought of. It implies a conceptual leap, an insight. It suggests that physics isn't just a discovery of rocks and stones. It is a creative act of the human imagination to describe those rocks and stones.
Oh, I like that. So relativity isn't just a math problem that Einstein solved. It's an aha moment he had.
Precisely. It shifts the focus from the equation itself to the insight behind it. If I teach you a law, I'm teaching you how to calculate something. But if I teach you an idea, I'm teaching you how to see the world differently. And for you, for the learner we're profiling today, that is a huge selling point. It says, you don't need to be a calculus whiz to get this. You just need to be able to think.
It invites the philosopher in, not just the mathematician.
It absolutely does. And then you hit that subtitle, Foundations for Understanding the Universe.
Yeah, that's not a small claim. Understanding the universe, not understanding physics class, not understanding the textbook, understanding the universe.
It raises the stakes to the absolute maximum level. It connects the act of reading this book or even just looking at this source entry on Google to the ultimate existential question. Where are we?
Yeah.
What is this place?
It frames the book as a tool for existential orientation, a map for meaning almost.
Right. And Foundation suggests that you can build on it. It's not the whole building, it's the concrete slab. Once you have these 10 ideas, you can build whatever structure of knowledge you want on top of them. But without them, you are building on sand.
So just from the title alone, before we even think about clicking Get Print Book, we are being sold a very specific vision of learning. It's curated, so top 10.
Yeah.
It's conceptual ideas, and it's fundamental foundations.
That is the core proposition. And it is a very seductive one for a learner who wants to understand the big picture, but doesn't have, 10 years to get a PhD.
But as we know, anyone can write a title. I could write a book called The One Idea to Explain Everything, and it could just be a drawing of a taco.
It could be. And that might be a valid theory, depending on the taco, I suppose.
It's true. But in this case, the source gives us two very specific pieces of data that tell us this isn't a taco book. We have the author, Anthony Zee, and the publisher, Princeton University Press.
These are the trust signals. In the digital ecosystem, where literally anyone can publish anything, these signals act as the gatekeepers of quality.
Let's look at the author first, Anthony Zee. The source doesn't give us his biography, it just gives us the name. But the fact that his name is attached to a top 10 list is significant in itself.
It is. Because often, with these kinds of broad overview books, you might get a For Dummies guide or a generic encyclopedia of physics written by a committee or, a ghostwriter.
Right, the editors of Science Weekly present something like that.
Exactly. But when you have a specific name, Anthony Zee, attached to top 10 ideas, it implies a subjective personal curation. These aren't just the 10 ideas. They are his 10 ideas.
It's a guided tour.
It is a guided tour by a specific mind. It suggests a voice. It suggests that this person has spent a lifetime in the field and has come to a personal conclusion about what matters most. You are not just buying information. You're buying his perspective, his taste.
And then you have the publisher, Princeton University Press. This is listed right there in the source, right under the availability status.
This is crucial. Princeton University Press is one of the most prestigious academic publishers in the entire world.
What does that tell the listener? If they see that logo, or just the text, Princeton University Press, what should that signal?
It signals rigor. Plain and simple. It signals that this book has been peer-reviewed. It hasn't just been slapped together to make a quick buck on Amazon. It has passed through that gauntlet of other physicists who have said, yes, this is accurate. Yes, this is valuable.
So it elevates the top 10 concept, because top 10 can feel a bit BuzzFeed, Top 10 physics hacks you won't believe.
Exactly. Number 7 will shock you.
Physicists hate him for this one weird trick.
Right. But when you slap Princeton University Press on top of top 10 ideas, it creates this fascinating tension. It says, we're going to be accessible and poppy enough to have a top 10 list, but we are going to be rigorous enough to bear the seal of Princeton.
It's the sweet spot. It's serious scholarship presented accessibly.
That is the holy grail for the learner persona we're talking about. You want to know that what you're learning is true and respected. That's the Princeton part. But you want it presented in a way that doesn't make your head explode. That's the top 10 ideas part.
So we have established that this book, at least the metadata of this book, is high quality. It's the good stuff. But now we have to talk about the interface, because we are looking at this through the lens of Google Books, and there is a very specific, very frustrating phrase in this source.
I think I know which one you're looking at.
No ebook available.
The digital door slam. Right in your face.
It's ironic, isn't it? We are on Google, The world's information organizer. We have buttons for Play, YouTube, News, Gmail. Everything is instant. Everything is one click away. And then, for this piece of foundational knowledge, no ebook available.
It is a stark reminder of the digital divide, or rather, the physical persistence of knowledge. We assume that everything has been digitized, that everything is liquid and can just flow onto our screens instantly. But here is a reminder that some things, often the most substantial things, are still locked in physical atoms.
What does that do to the value of the information? Does it make it annoying, or does it make it, I don't know, exclusive?
I think it adds a layer of what economists might call friction. But in learning, friction can actually be a signal of value. If I can download it in 2 seconds, I might treat it lightly, I might just skim it and forget it. But if I have to go out and get the print book...
If I have to wait for shipping, or drive to a store, or walk to a library.
Exactly. That little investment of effort primes the brain. It says, I am working for this knowledge. It makes the knowledge feel more earned. It transforms the book from just another digital file into an artifact.
It's like a quest. You have been given the map, but you have to go find the scroll yourself.
And looking at the source, the interface gives us a map for that quest. It lists the sellers, and I love the variety here.
Yeah, let's look at that list. We have the usual suspects, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Books A Million.
The giants of retail, the big boxes.
But then, right there in the mix, is IndieBound.
Which is fantastic. It's a portal that connects you to independent bookstores. It reminds you that this book exists in a community context, not just in a massive warehouse somewhere.
And then, my favorite one on the list, the one that really changes the game, Find in a Library.
Yes. This is the University Press ethos coming through loud and clear. Knowledge as a shared public resource. Even if you can't buy it or don't want to buy it, you can still access it. It frames the book not just as a product to be sold, but as a piece of public intellectual property.
It's interesting to see that in a Google interface, isn't it? Google is a business, Amazon is a business. But there's this little link, Find in a Library, that points to a non-commercial, communal way of learning.
It grounds the whole digital experience in the physical world. It says, go to a building, walk among the shelves, find this object. It's an instruction to get off the internet.
I want to zoom out a bit and look at the sidebar of this source. We're focused on the book content, but look at what surrounds it. Search, images, maps, Play, YouTube, News, Gmail, Drive.
The modern dashboard of distraction.
Seriously, this book, this Foundations for Understanding the Universe, is sitting right next to News and YouTube.
It creates such a powerful contrast. On the sidebar, you have the ephemeral. News is what happened 5 minutes ago. YouTube is often, quick entertainment. Gmail is your to-do list nagging you. Those are all high-speed, low-latency inputs.
And in the middle of it all, you have this static, heavy, physical book.
Which represents deep time, deep focus. It's almost an act of rebellion to turn away from the News tab and click Get Print Book. You are consciously choosing to step out of the frantic current of the now and step into the timeless foundations.
That is a great way to put it. The deep dive is about pausing that cycle. We are essentially ignoring the entire sidebar to focus on the center of the page.
We are. And notice the My Library link at the top left.
Yeah, My Library. What about it?
It suggests possession. It's not the library. It's my library. Even in this digital space, we have this profound desire to collect, to curate our own personal shelves. Even if we can't buy the ebook, we can add this listing to My Library. We can bookmark it. We can say, this is part of who I am. This is part of what I know.
It's identity building. I am the kind of person who has Anthony Zee's physics book in my library, even if I haven't read it yet.
Exactly. We build our intellectual identities out of these sources. And a book like this, a foundational text from a top university press, is a cornerstone in that identity.
Now, I want to talk about the tools that Google promises, even if we can't use them for this specific book. The source text has this little blurb for Google Play. It says, rent and save from the world's largest ebook store, read, highlight, and take notes across web, tablet, and phone.
That is the modern learner's toolkit right there. The whole promise of digital learning in one sentence.
Read, highlight, take notes.
It breaks down the act of learning into specific behaviors. It's not just read. Reading can be passive. Highlight is an active selection. You're saying, this bit is important, and take notes is synthesis.
Yeah.
You're saying, this is what I think about what is important.
And across web, tablet, and phone.
Portability.
Yeah.
Ubiquity. The expectation is that knowledge should be available anywhere. In line at the grocery store, on the bus, in bed at night.
Which makes the no ebook available notification for this book even more striking. The interface is screaming at you, look at all these amazing tools we have for you. You can highlight, you can read on your phone. And then for this specific foundational book, it says, sorry, not this one.
It highlights the friction we talked about earlier. The interface promises a seamless liquid learning experience. But the reality of copyright or publishing deals, or maybe just the nature of this specific text, puts up a hard barrier. It forces a change in behavior. You can't just highlight with your finger on a screen. You have to get a pen. You have to get a physical highlighter. You have to dog-ear the page.
Do you think that's better?
I think it's just different. There is some research that suggests physical interaction with a text, the act of writing in the margins, physically turning pages aids retention in a different way than digital interaction does. It engages more of your senses.
So maybe the no ebook available is actually a feature, not a bug.
For a book about the foundations of the universe? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe you need to slow down to understand general relativity. Maybe you can't just scroll past quantum mechanics on your phone while you are waiting for your latte.
That's a comforting thought, that the difficulty of access matches the difficulty of the subject matter.
It demands respect. The book demands that you meet it on its own terms, not on yours.
I want to circle back to the sellers list one more time. We mentioned indie-bound and libraries, but it also lists all sellers.
Which implies an open market. It's not a closed garden.
It implies that this knowledge is a commodity. It's something that is bought and sold.
It is. Ideas are free, but books are products. And that is the central tension of the Google Books interface. It is a library catalog, but it is also a shopping mall. It is trying to help you learn, but it's also trying to help you buy.
And as a learner, you have to navigate that. You have to decide, am I a consumer right now, or am I a student?
Hopefully you are both. You are consuming the product in order to become the student.
So we have this promise, 10 ideas, a credible guide, a prestigious stamp of approval, and a physical quest to go find it.
It's a pretty compelling package, honestly. Even just looking at the single web page, I feel the pull. I want to know what the 10 ideas are.
Me too. I'm guessing gravity has to be one, right?
Gravity has to be one. It's a lock.
Electromagnetism.
Probably. Quantum mechanics in some form.
But the fact that we don't know, that the source doesn't list them, adds to the mystery. We are standing outside the club, looking at the bouncer, who is Princeton University Press, and we're trying to guess what is happening inside.
And that curiosity is the engine of learning. If the list were right there on the page, we might just scan it and say, okay, got it, and move on. But because it's hidden behind the Get Print Book wall, we are intrigued.
It's the click gap, or in this case, the purchase gap.
It creates a vacuum that our brains just want to fill.
So let's synthesize this deep dive. We started with a simple Google Books entry.
Right, just a collection of pixels and links on a screen.
We looked at the title, Top 10 Ideas of Physics, and we saw how it promises a curated, conceptual, and foundational understanding of the universe.
It promises to simplify the infinite into the manageable, to give you a foothold.
We looked at the authority signals, Anthony Zee as the guide and Princeton University Press as the guarantor.
The guarantee that this isn't snake oil. This is high-grade intellectual fuel.
And we analyzed the interface itself, the irony of no ebook available in a digital library, the contrast between the distraction of the sidebar and the focus of the book.
And the tool set that surrounds us, the desire to highlight, note-take, and possess knowledge in my library.
So what is the big takeaway here for the listener who might be browsing Google Books right now for their next read?
I think the takeaway is to pay attention to the frame. Don't just look for the content. Look at how the content is presented to you. Look at the title. What is it promising you? Look at the publisher who is vouching for it. And look at the medium. Is it digital? Is it physical? How does that shape how you will engage with it?
The medium is the message, as they say.
Always. And in this case, the message of the medium is stop scrolling. Go find the book. Sit down. Think.
Think about the universe.
Think about the foundations.
I love that. It's a call to action that is so much deeper than just buy now.
It is. It's a call to think.
Before we wrap up, I have to ask you a question based on this title. We have top 10 ideas. What happens if there is an 11th idea?
That is the dangerous question, isn't it?
Does the act of curating a top 10 limit our view? Are we missing something crucial just because it didn't make the cut for Anthony Zee's list?
It almost certainly limits our view. I mean, any map is a simplification of the territory. If the map were as complex as the territory, it would be useless. So yes, there is an 11th idea, and a 12th, and a 100th.
And maybe that 11th idea is the one that changes everything.
Or maybe the 11th idea is the one you come up with after you read the first 10.
Ooh. That's good. The first 10 are just the starting line.
Exactly. They're the foundations. You don't live in the foundations, you build on them. The 11th idea is the house you build.
That is a beautiful thought to end on. The book gives you the foundation, you build the rest.
Perfectly said.
Well, listener, that is our deep dive for today. We didn't read the book, but we read the map to the book. And sometimes the map is just as interesting as the destination.
It certainly helps you appreciate the journey ahead.
We encourage you to go find that physical book, experience the friction, go to the library, support an indie seller, and see what those 10 ideas actually are.
And let us know if you find the 11th one.
Definitely. Stay curious, everyone. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Goodbye.
Okay, wait, I'm not done yet. We have time, and I really want to squeeze a little more juice out of this lemon. We talked about the no ebook available thing, right?
We did. It's a key part of the interface's narrative, the central conflict.
But look closely at the Google Play blurb again. Rent and save from the world's largest ebook store.
Yes.
Rent. We glossed over that. We talked about buying and libraries, but rent. What does it mean to rent an idea of physics?
That is a very distinct modern concept, isn't it? In the old days, you bought the book, and it was yours forever. Or you borrowed it from a library, which is a community pool.
Mm-hmm.
But renting a textbook implies a temporary access to knowledge.
It implies you need it for a semester, and then you flush it from your brain.
It commodifies the knowledge as a utility, like renting a car. You use it to get from point A to point B, in this case, passing the exam, and then you return it. You don't own it. It doesn't go into my library permanently.
That clashes so hard with the subtitle, doesn't it? Foundations for Understanding the Universe. You don't rent a foundation. You pour a foundation. It's supposed to be permanent.
That is a brilliant observation. There is a fundamental conflict between the business model of rent and save and the intellectual model of foundations. If you truly want to understand the universe, you can't just rent the understanding for 30 days.
Sorry, your understanding of gravity has expired. Please renew your subscription to keep from floating away.
Exactly. Please insert coin to continue existing.
But the source puts them right next to each other. The title says Foundations and the button says Rent.
It shows the schizophrenia of the digital marketplace. It treats all books as data files to be licensed, regardless of their content. Whether it's a beach read you'll forget in a week or a profound treatise on the cosmos, the platform tries to fit it into the same transactional box.
And maybe that's why no ebook available is almost a relief. It saves this specific book from being rented. It forces it to be owned.
It protects the book's dignity, in a way. It insists on a long-term relationship. It says, if you want this, you have to commit.
I also want to look at the advanced book search link. It's small, right under my library.
A tiny link, but a really powerful tool.
Advanced book search. It implies that the standard search, the simple white box we all use, isn't enough.
The standard search is for keywords. It's for peeps in near me or lyrics to that song. But advanced book search, that's for the researcher. That's for the detective.
It allows you to filter by publisher, by date, by author. It lets you slice and dice the entire corpus of human literature.
It represents the expert level of the user interface.
Yeah.
Most people stay on the surface, they type in physics and click the first link. But the advanced user, the deep diver, they want to control the query.
It's empowering. It says you don't just have to take what the algorithm feeds you. You can ask very specific questions.
And in a world of information overload, the ability to ask specific questions, the ability to filter, is a superpower.
It really is. And notice how it's positioned right near help.
Help! The universal cry of the confused user.
Help me, Google. There are too many books.
But help also implies that the system is complex. A library is a complex system. A bookstore is a complex system. Navigating knowledge requires assistance.
Which brings us right back to Anthony Zee. He is the ultimate help function. He is the guide.
He is the human interface. The search engine can find the book for you, but only the author can explain the universe.
That distinction between finding and understanding is everything. Google helps you find. Zee helps you understand.
And the deep dive helps you connect the two.
We try. I'm looking at the About This Book section header. It's fascinating that the interface has to label it so plainly. About this book.
It frames the metadata. It tells you here is the summary. Here is the context. Pay attention to this part.
But in this specific source snippet we have, the About This Book section is cut off. We see the header, but we don't see the blurb itself.
We're left hanging. It's another little mystery.
We are. We have the title, the author, the publisher, and then blank space. We have to infer what the book is about solely from the title.
Which is a great exercise in semiotics. We are judging the book by its cover, or rather by its header.
And its neighbors. We're judging it by the company it keeps. Princeton, Barnes & Noble.
It's like seeing someone at a party. You don't know them, but you see who they are talking to. You see they're wearing a tuxedo, which is the Princeton Press logo. You assume they're important.
And you see they're standing next to the Fae, which is Amazon.
Accessible, but classy.
I want to touch on the Books-A-Million listing.
Yeah.
I feel like we see Amazon and B&N all the time, but Books-A-Million,
Bam.
it reminds me of the physical mall, the shopping mall bookstore.
Which is a dying breed, sadly. But its presence here in the source list is a reminder of the physical distribution network. This book isn't just in the cloud, it's in a mall in Ohio. It's on a shelf in a strip mall in Florida.
It penetrates the real world. It's not just an academic, abstract concept. It's a physical object that takes up space in a retail environment.
And that means someone has to ship it. Someone has to stock it. There's a whole supply chain of physics.
The logistics of enlightenment.
Trucks carrying the top 10 ideas of physics down the highway.
That is a cool image, a truck full of understanding.
Driving past a truck full of tacos.
Hopefully they swap at a rest stop. I'll trade you 3 ideas for a burrito.
The economics of ideas in action.
But seriously, the all sellers link at the bottom, the little arrow.
The more button. The promise of infinity.
It implies that the list is inexhaustible. There are always more places to look.
The hunt never ends. If Amazon is out of stock, try IndieBound. If IndieBound is out, try the library. If the library copy is checked out.
Try the advanced book search.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The interface is designed to keep you searching. It never says give up. It always offers another path.
Unless you want the ebook, then it says give up immediately.
Then it says hard stop, no ebook available.
It's the one hard boundary in the entire system.
And boundaries define a system. Without boundaries, it's just noise. The fact that you can't have the ebook defines the nature of this specific interaction.
It forces a choice. Do I want it enough to deal with the physical world?
It tests your commitment.
I think we have passed the test. We have analyzed the heck out of this page.
We have squeezed this lemon completely dry.
We have. We have taken a few lines of text, a title, a name, a publisher, and some buttons, and we have found a whole philosophy of learning hidden inside.
It just goes to show that everything is a source if you look at it deeply enough. Even the packaging, even the menu.
Especially the menu. The menu tells you what's in the kitchen.
And today, the kitchen is the universe.
Boom. Mic drop.
Oh, come on.
Okay, for real this time. We are wrapping it up. Thank you for going on this meta journey with us.
It was a pleasure to explore the doorway.
Next time, we might actually open the door and go inside. But for today, appreciate the door, appreciate the top 10 ideas, and appreciate the hunt for the physical book.
Happy hunting.
Stay curious. See you next time.
Goodbye.
Wait. One last thing. I swear, I just noticed the sign-in button at the top right.
The sign in. Of course. How do we miss that?
You ignored it, but it's the key to my library. You can't have a my library if you aren't me.
It's the gate of identity. Unless you identify yourself to the system, you are just a ghost. You're a guest. Anonymous.
You have to log in to claim ownership, to make it personal.
You'd say, I am here. This is my collection. This is a reflection of me.
It personalizes the entire web. Without sign-in, the web is just a broadcast. With sign-in, it's a dialogue.
It's a record. It's a history of your curiosity.
Sign in to physics. I like that.
Sign up for the universe.
Okay, now I'm really done, I promise. No more observations.
Are you sure? What about the little magnifying glass icon in the search bar?
Don't tempt me. We could do 20 minutes on the magnifying glass alone.
The symbol of inquiry, Sherlock Holmes. The search for truth.
Stop! We're cutting the feed. Thanks, everyone.